is an asset and it has value. And talking to the right financial stream now.
We purchased it at 410k. Its current value is 900, around 900k.
We make sure we do not offer shoddy accommodation. That's one of the greatest things that needs to be emphasised. If you're going to get into this game, do not be cheap and cheerful, poor quality. Let your standards reflect what you're offering and what you're about.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to NPC, otherwise known as Nelson Property Consultants. Welcome to our General Property Clinic, otherwise known as our GP Clinic. We'll just give a couple more seconds for people to enter the room. It would be great if some of you would have your cameras on. That would be wonderful, because otherwise it just feels like I'm talking to Ade all by myself in the room, and that's not really a bundle of fun, is it? Is it, Ade? Is it a bundle of fun?
You see, this
is
is what happens when you have a co-founder who loves you. Those are the kind of comments she shares with you. Like that.
That caught your attention, and hopefully it will catch everyone else's. Oh dear, right. Okay, well, no, the truth is, Ade, we don't want to feel like we're the only ones in the room now, do we?
Absolutely,
We definitely do not want to. So, yeah, okay. So for those of you that are here already, let me just start to let you know how this evening goes. For those of you that have never been here before, we are Nelson Property Consultants, and on the first Wednesday of every month at 7 p.m, we host our GP clinic, which sometimes is just a straightforward Q&A, question and answer. You submit your questions and we answer them. But sometimes it is topic specific. Now, tonight is one of those nights. We have a guest speaker, Immanuel. Well, he's not really a guest speaker. I shouldn't really say that, because Immanuel is one of our esteemed consultants, one of our senior consultants, but he will be hosting tonight. So we are here for an hour. We will be wrapping up by 8 o'clock. We do want this session to be as interactive as possible. It is very much about mindset. That is the topic for tonight. So I would suggest that you give this all of your attention. An hour is going to fly by really quickly. And so hopefully you won't need to move. You can stay firmly in your seat, grab everything that you need to grab, and then go away with a renewed or enhanced mindset. So for those of you that don't know me, I'm Deanne Nelson. My partner, Ade Stone, Ade for Boomy Stone. Ade, do you want to say something quickly before I hand over to Immanuel?
I would just like to say good evening to everybody. It's great to have you on. You know my view, if you give up the time, you deserve the rewards. Hopefully we'll give you those rewards tonight as part of your journey in your property sector. But yes, congratulate yourself for making the time and coming on tonight. And as Dee said, tonight is interactive. Get involved as much as you can. This is about a session where we want to hear from you. We're not just here to preach. You're not the congregation. It's about sharing. So, Dee, on that note, I hand back to you.
Definitely. Thank you very much, Ade. And I'm sure we will hear from you again at the end of the session. But without further ado, I would like to bring on stage Mr. Immanuel Ezekiel, who is going to talk to you about the important subject of mindset. Immanuel, the floor is yours.
Good evening, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. As Deanne said, tonight is going to be an interactive session. And part of being interactive is so I can see that you're all engaged. And it's very difficult for me to see that you're engaged if I can't see you. So you might be doing the washing, you might be eating dinner, you might be doing lots of things, but if you're not present, then you won't get the full information. So it's a request from me to allow me to give you the best presentation, the best of myself, if you do me the honor of taking your camera off so I can actually see all of your faces. Would you kindly do that? To be interactive, you have to be interactive, and you can't be interactive if your cameras are off. And this session is about mindset and the mindset of a successful person. And if you're not able to turn on your camera, what is that already saying about you? Sorry to be harsh, but a lot of my life is around sport. And in sport, I want people to push me so I can get further. When I go to the gym, I don't build bigger muscles by having weights that don't push me, don't elevate me. So at the moment, we've only got one person that is.
Thank you, Leonora,
Thank you.
for taking the brave step to do that. Thank you very much. When I
Thank
say
you. Thank you,
brave,
Janet.
you know,
So
you're
I can see
showing
your
up. You're showing
faces.
up in the room. Thank you, Janet. Come on, guys. We are here, ladies. We're here. Let's show up in the room. You are here for a reason. You have registered and attended for a reason. Let's show up in the room and let's get the maximum out of this session. This session is for free, and I guarantee you, if you paid for it, you might have attached more value to it. Don't think because it's free that we are not giving you value tonight. We are giving you value. So please do show up and give Emmanuel the best interaction so that he can give you the best of what he's got to share.
And I think you'll already see from just the 4 people who have already shared their screen, there's already different energy in this Zoom presentation. Good evening. That's really nice of you. Thank you. The more of you that engage, the more of you interact, I promise you, you will get much more from them this evening, because you'll get much more from me, because the energy that I can give is going to be based on me seeing your faces and your reaction and your comments about what I'm going to share with you. So thank you for those of that actually opened your cameras so I can actually see you. So
What I would
without
say, Manuel, just before you continue, if anybody's like me, you might have had to go and do your hair, fix your makeup. So I fully understand if you're not coming on, you may not have realized it was going to be interactive. But for those of you who are, you've obviously done the makeover very quickly, and we're glad to have you here.
Can I just say we accept PJs as well. Pajamas are fine. Your secret is safe with us.
So it would be helpful.
Okay. Hi, Cadence. Yeah, sorry. Brilliant. Okay.
It would be very helpful for me, because I do try and tailor make my presentation for the comments I hear from you during the presentation, but also the comments I get at the beginning. So maybe you can put into the comments, why are you here this evening? What are you hoping to get from this evening? Whatever it is, we all come from different places, we all come from different areas, we all have a different day at work. What are you hoping that today will be as one of the building blocks for your journey in property of success? So what is it that you're hoping that you will get from this evening, whether it be from me, whether it be from Ade, or whether it be from Deanne, or it could even be from somebody on the screen right now that might share a comment. So what are you hoping that you giving up an hour of your time in the evening, valuable time, what are you hoping that tonight you will get from this evening? And I will do my very best to cover all the bits that you want within my presentation. Although it's about mindset, I'll try and encompass everything that comes within the actual comments. So Deanne, if you can maybe read some of the comments that come through, and then we'll start the presentation. I'll try and interweave what those different things are that people are hoping to get from this evening.
Okay, brilliant. So we have had motivation and inspiration, and that's just from Ade and from myself, a newfound way of thinking, because sometimes you don't know what you don't know. So for me, I don't profess to know it all. I'm looking or hoping that you will share something with me that will give me another, way of looking at something or deeper insight.
Cool.
We've got from Leonora some insights as to how important mindset is to have a successful business. We've got from Liz, align myself with like-minded people who want to approach property in a different way. Both of those are very good.
Okay, so show of hands for those people that have actually opened their cameras. How many of you would like to know the key ingredients to be successful in anything that you do in life especially in property and creating wealth? How many of you would like to know that? Only 2 of you? 3 of you? 4 of you? Okay, great. So my talk today is going to give you the key ingredients for anybody that's successful in life. Those ingredients, if you apply them in your life, you will be successful regardless of what career path you choose to do. Because not everybody chases money or wants wealth. They want to be successful in lots of different areas. These will be the key components and ingredients that you can apply anywhere and everywhere in your life. Sounds
We've
good?
got a couple more come in, Emmanuel, and that is one from Cadence, reframing existing skill sets into a new line of work. And Janet has said that I don't really need to be motivated other than how I need to make money. I'm feeling like I'm stuck in a rut. Lorraine Ellis has said, yes, please.
Cool. Well, without further ado, if you can please put up the presentation slides and I will get going.
Thank you, Jess.
Just while we're waiting, I love Janet Bruce's comment.
Yeah.
I don't need to know that. I just need to make some money.
So here there's key ingredients to being successful and there's key ingredients to making money. What you focus on expands. If you focus on money and you focus on with the right mindset, money goes to where money flows. So if you need to want to attract money, you need to have the right mindset to know how to attract the right money to your life. People that need money find it very difficult to attract money. People that don't need money, money just seems to come to them whenever they want it, whenever they need it, effortlessly, because money goes to where it flows the easiest. So tonight is all about the successful mindset and the key ingredients that you need in any area of your life. So we'll go to the next slide now. I'll just give you a little bit of introduction to myself. So my name is Immanuel Ezekiel. It's a long name. It's a very biblical name. Both names have a meaning, but I won't cover that today. I am a property developer. My company is called Broadwing Homes. We do boutique developments of between 9 and 20 units, new build conversions. I am a best-selling author. I'll cover that a little bit later. I am an angel investor, not just in property, but in other businesses. I do many JVs. I'm a JV specialist. I not only do JVs myself, I help people construct the correct joint venture. A joint venture is like going into a marriage. And if you don't have the right contract in place, guess what happens when you go into the wrong relationship? You get divorced. Well, a joint venture with a shareholders agreement makes sure that you're protected. So that's your prenuptial and your postnuptial, I like to call it. So I help people structure the right JV deal. JVs are not always 50-50. They can be 70-30, 60-40, can be any percentage you want to do. And I help a lot of people around property and business consultancy. One of my claims to fame, I ran one of the largest mortgage brokerages in the UK. I had over 50 brokers, 100 staff. Back in 2008, we were turning over 7 million at that particular time. So I have a lot of knowledge around finance, around property, lots of creative strategies. And some of you heard me speak last time. You know a lot, I know a lot about creative financing, creative strategy. That's a little bit about me, a little bit more. If we go to the next slide. I have appeared on a few different programs. I've appeared on Rich House, Poor House. I do multiple speaking all around the country, different platforms. And I was on Property Elevator Sky TV. I was given the accolade of the best pitch on the TV show for getting the money. I got the money and I refused it because I didn't go there for the money. I went there for the contacts and to create a new relationship with some of the angel investors or the dragon investors. And that was my reason for going there. So sometimes you go somewhere not because you want the money, you go for this exposure or the recognition or to get wider afield. And that's one of the reasons why I did that. I went on Rich House, Poor House purely for my children to understand how great their lives are compared to many other people. And I started off my life in Stoke Newington. My parents were immigrants. My mother came to this country not speaking a word of English. We didn't know we were poor until I went to secondary school. My mother worked as a dinner lady. My dad worked in an abattoir, getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning, every morning for many years. So I know what it's like not to have money. I also know what it takes to be successful because I've worked my way from the bottom and I've worked my way all the way through, and I've bought hundreds of properties, and I've helped people buy thousands of properties over the last 35, 40 years in many different ways. And I've helped people in business, in finance, structure, many different things. So I've got quite a wide repertoire of skills around business, finance, especially mortgages, development finance, bridging finance, anything to do with property and business finance related. Last slide. And I have written 2 books. The first book was called The 6 Steps to Financial Freedom. And that book was designed to help anybody get out of debt, including their mortgage. For some reason, people don't see a mortgage as a debt. And when I had my mortgage company, for some reason, we would help people get out of debt. We would consolidate all their loans. And 2 or 3 years later, they'd come back just with new loans. And I thought, this is crazy. Nobody's teaching people about money. So I invented and created a formula called the snowball effect to get anybody out of debt without earning any more money in, say, between 5 and 7 years of the mortgage and between 25,000 and 50,000 worth of interest. That book was endorsed by someone called Brian Tracy. If you haven't heard of him, he's world renowned in terms of a motivational speaker. Also Bill Bartman, who was USA Billionaire Entrepreneur of the Year twice, who endorsed the book as well. The second book was Wealth Beyond Money, and that book was designed to create balance. So as you go through life, we tend to sacrifice one thing for another. So the book is based first and foremost on your health, your mental health and your physical health. Then your relationships. The most important relationship you'll ever have is your relationship with yourself. The next important relationship is with your loved ones, friends and family. Then you have to focus on money. You've got to have all 3. You've got to have your health, you've got to have your relationships, and you've got to have money simultaneously. And that's where you create real, true balance. Okay, so if you can move to the next slide, please. Okay, so this section is going to be a very interactive section. And interacting means that I need you guys to participate. The more energy I get from you guys, the more I'll be able to actually give you. So how do we learn? So this is scientific. So how we learn, if I just speak to you guys, you will remember roughly 10 to 20% of what I say just by listening. But we all don't learn by listening. So in addition to listening, if you take notes by writing, I'm not sure why we've got a Nelson property on my PowerPoint presentation slide, but there you go. So if you write, that increases to 20 to 40%. So listening and writing combined gives you roughly 20% of what we do this evening you will remember. However, if you listen, if you take notes and you participate, so participating means engaging, responding, communicating. If I ask a question, you type it in, your learning ability increases to 60 to 80%. So you have a choice. You can listen to everything I'm saying and you'll remember 10 to 20%. You can listen and take some notes and it will increase by double. Or you can participate at the same time because it engages. It's like me saying to you, I'm going to teach you how to swim. You go in the water, you start plashing, you start putting your arms this way. Is it the same thing as you actually getting in the water, feeling the water and participating? Will you learn as much or as quickly if you don't engage? The answer is no, you won't. So the reason why most presenters or speakers ask you to participate, it's not for them, it's for you. It's for you to be able to listen and to retain as much information as possible. If that makes sense, just put yes in the chat, please. So I know that you're actually listening. Great. Even a Y is great. Thank you. So I'm going to ask you guys to Keep participating so I can give you as much as I can. Thank you. I really appreciate you participating. So if we can go to the next slide now. So in the next slide, when it comes up, all I'm going to ask you now is to ideally put into the chat, what are the key ingredients that you think successful people have that you know or that you've met? And I'll give you a few examples of people that you know they're very successful. Then you think about your own friends. So Richard Branson, Alan Sugar, just a couple of people that you know that are very, very successful in the field. It doesn't have to be business. It could be in any area of their life. And write the things down. Great. Tenacious. What else? What other skills, what other qualities do those people have? Confidence, balance, discipline. Fantastic. Curious. Keep going. I love this. Great listener, flexible, confidence. Love it. Keep going. Deanne, if one of you can take some notes of these at the same time, because we're going to go through all of these again.
Yeah.
Courageous. Love it.
Okay, if some of you from the office, if anyone from the office could be making sure they're taking notes as well, but yes, okay, so.
Deanne, Ade, you can add some bits as well. You're participating too. You guys can participate as well.
I'm multitasking in the background there, Emmanuel. I'm not sitting here with my thumb idle, definitely not.
Thinking outside the box. Knowledge. I love it. Keep going. Keep it simple. Resilient.
Keep it simple, yeah.
Always a student, always learning. Love it. Keep going. What else? Vision. Continuous learning. Beautiful. Speaking to others in know. Influence. How about things like good communicator? How about
I would say that they show up in the room. That's what I would say. When they go in, they don't go in on the back foot. They go in and they show up in the room.
They come and show up in the room. Are they funny? Do they have good energy? They do. They're punctual. Good networkers. Love it. Keep going. Remember, this session is interactive. Yeah, we've had charismatic a couple of times now. Keep going. Tenacious. Would you say maybe tenacious? Thinking outside the box.
Brilliant.
Hardworking. Good influencer.
So have we
Adaptable. Love it. Love it. Keep going.
Strategic.
Sorry?
Strategic.
Yeah, strategic, focused. Love it. Choosing carefully. Yep. Are they a good planner?
Good listeners.
Good listeners.
Risk takers.
Intuitive. Mentors. Knowing your customers and market. Yep. Keep going. Any more? Any more? Creative. Any more? Do what unsuccessful who don't do. Yes.
Yeah,
Able to extract wheat from the chaff.
That's a good one, Cliff. That's a good one. Yeah, do what unsuccessful people don't do. Yeah.
Unique. Yeah. Driven. I love these. Keep going. Keep going. Generosity. They're generous. Yes.
Yeah.
Philanthropists. Charitable. Goal-driven. Reliable. Good comprehensive communicator. Love clarity of purpose. I love these. These are amazing. Keep going.
Key qualities of successful.
Rounded. These are some great comments. Aesthetics. Visionaries. Beautiful.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Any more? Keep going. Let's keep going. This is really good session.
I would say negotiators.
Good negotiators. Negotiators. Can someone put negotiators in here as well? Because we're going to go through all of these again, and you'll see the reason why. Let's add some more into this list. Listening skills, negotiators, collaborative. These are fantastic. Keep going. Blue sky thinkers, outside of the box.
Yeah.
Are they good problem solvers?
Yeah. I would also say learners. They're willing to learn.
They're good learners. Yeah. Do they have good teams around them? Problem solvers.
Yeah.
Good learners, great. I love this one. Delay gratification, love it. Faithful, even better. Good team builders. Any more? Janet's on a roll. She's really contributing a lot. Love it.
Thank you, Janet.
I love these comments. Any more? I'll give it one more minute, then we're going to go through these again. Let's have a look. Entrepreneur, the ability to pivot. These are fantastic. Seeking balance in their lives. Any more comments? We'll do one more minute.
Early risers.
Early risers. So I'm going to thank you guys again for participating, because you will get a lot from this session. Trust me, you're going to get a lot from this session because you are participating. Because the next bit is a really good bit that's about to come. Okay. So no, don't go to the slides. We're just going to stay with the comments, please. Okay, so we're going to go right to the very beginning of all the different comments that you had. So we're going to start with the first one. Now, I'm going to ask all of you to do one of two things. I'm either going to ask you to write the letter A next to the word,
Samira?
or the letter S, or sometimes it might be an A or an S. Now, let me explain what the A is, and let me explain what the S is, and when it might be an A and an S. So I don't mean an ass, I mean an A and an S. So A stands for the word attribute, and S stands for a skill. So, and I'd also like you to put these in the comments, so you don't think I'm making this stuff up as we go along. So when it comes to punctual, is that a skill or is that an attribute? And if you want to put it in the comments, I'll write them down as we go along. So do you think punctual is a skill or an attribute? I'll give you what I think it is. I think it's an attribute. If you think it's a skill, put down a skill. So a good networker, is that a skill or is that an attribute? Because some things that we learn, right? So there could be a skill and an attribute, but a good networker, they might be naturally as a good worker, be able to do that. Some people might need to learn how to be that. So good networker normally is your personality, would probably be an attribute. Charismatic, is that a skill or is that an attribute?
Attribute.
I think it's probably charismatic is probably an attribute. It's who you are. So is Deanne charismatic? Is Ade charismatic?
Now, be careful, everyone. Please do be careful. There's no
you're definitely going to have to put down charismatic as an attribute now, otherwise she'll be very upset.
There's no right.
So good at listening. That's probably a skill. Yeah, you have to learn to be a good listener. Most people don't listen with the intention of listening. They listen with the intention of responding or not understanding. So influencer, is that a skill or an attribute? It probably starts as an attribute and goes into a skill. Adaptable, is that a skill or an attribute? Strategic, is that a skill or an attribute? I'd like you to be making a list as we go, because this is going to be a really good learning example for you guys. So as we go through each one, just write down A or S, or if you think it's the two, A and S, put A and S next to it. Focused, is that a skill or an attribute? Most people are focused, normally have that as an attribute, but they can be more focused by learning it. Choosing carefully, skill or attribute. Intuitive, is that a skill or is that an attribute? Deciding on a good mentor, is that a skill or an attribute? Probably a skill because they want to do that and they learn from the mentors, but they probably want to have it as an attribute first to know that they need to learn. I was whispering.
If someone needs, no.
Knowing your customers and your market, that's probably a skill. You need to know who your customers are. You won't know that without having that as a skill set. Being creative, is that a skill or an attribute? A lot of people are creative naturally. They can enhance their creativity, but that's probably an attribute. They can do what unsuccessful people don't do. That's quite wide. So maybe how we can rephrase that. They're probably prepared to do what unsuccessful people aren't prepared to do. And that's probably an attribute that leads into a skill that they learn to become even better. They're able to extract the wheat from the chaff. That's probably a skill that they learn over time. Unique. Well, unique is probably an attribute, not a skill. Driven is probably an attribute, not a skill. Generosity is probably an attribute because people that are generous when they don't have money are just more generous when they do have money. Reliable, that's probably an attribute. Goal-driven, probably a skill that they learn. Good, comprehensive communicators, probably an attribute that learns into a skill because you become better with the skill that you have. But I think we'll know people that we were at school that were really good communicators. They were really good to be around. They could communicate really well. That's normally an attribute. Clarity of purpose probably is a skill. Aesthetics. I'm not sure what aesthetics means, but maybe they look after themselves. They want to look okay, like one or two of us on this platform. I won't mention any words like Deanne.
Oh. Okay, Immanuel.
I'll take it. Rounded as an individual, that's probably an attribute as well as a skill. The more attributes they have, the more rounded you want to become by learning more skills. Listening skills, we've covered that already. Negotiators, I'd probably say that's a skill that you learn. Collaborative, that's probably a skill and an attribute. Blue sky thinkers, outside of the box. Well, most people have that tendency as an attribute and develop it as a skill as well. They're competent with figures. I would say that's an attribute that becomes a real skill. Honesty, an attribute. Know their bottom line, that becomes a skill. Problem solvers, a combination of attribute and skill. Good learners, an attribute. Delay gratification, an attribute. Faithful, attribute. Problem solvers, as I said, it probably starts as an attribute, goes into a skill. Good team builders will probably be a skill. Seeking balance in their lives, probably an attribute. Entrepreneurial, that's definitely an attribute. You've got to have that to start with. You can become a better entrepreneur with a skill, but you've got to have that as an attribute. The ability to pivot, that could be a combination of attribute and skill. Positive mindset. You either have a positive mindset to start with or you don't. You can enhance it, you can make it better, you can refine it, but that's part of who you are to start with. Good at marketing is definitely a skill. Love to live life to teach others what they can do the same. I think you'll probably find that's an attribute that will go into a skill. So lots of people, including me, you'll know that we're here. We love to teach, but that's part of who we are, part of our essence. Early risers, that's definitely an attribute. Late finishers, definitely an attribute. Good reputation, that's part of who you are as an attribute. So if you look through all of these, so here's the clue. Would you like to know what the clue is? You need 10 to 20% skills to be successful, but you need a hell of a lot more attributes. It's your attributes that make you successful and not the skill set. It's not the knowledge that you have that makes you successful. It's your attributes that you do on a daily and a consistent basis. Now, if you'd like to click on the slide, you'll see some of the things that came up that I put up there already. Resilience, discipline, self-motivation, vision, persistence, confidence, curiosity, integrity, emotional intelligence, having patience, optimism, courage, risk-taking, growth mindset, humility, work ethic. Those are all attributes. They are all attributes of a successful. Anybody that you know that's successful will possess almost all of these qualities. Put into the chat if you agree or you disagree. Do you agree that you need those attributes? Great, thank you. Agree. So here's the thing. You all know what you need to be successful because you've told it yourself. I didn't tell you what it was. You all put down all the things that you need to be successful, all the things you need to embody to be successful, you know already. So if you embody all of these attributes, your destiny, your path to success is almost guaranteed because you only need 20% skills. Is this making sense? Am I speaking too loudly?
Not at all. Shout it from the rooftops, Immanuel.
So we can see success everywhere because we can see the signs. We know what the signs are of successful people. We recognize it. You all, I didn't have to tell you, you recognized what success looks like. Well, if you embody these attributes on a daily basis, you will become successful because success attracts success. People want to be around people that affect them, not infect them. People around you that are enthusiastic, that have energy, you're drawn to. That's why comedians and people make you laugh get so much money because their energy is infectious. It affects you. It changes you. It changes who you think. Would I rather be next to Deanne than somebody that's negative? Of course I would want to be next to Deanne because it's the positive energy. Positive breeds positivity. Is this making sense? Cool. Let's go to the next bit. So things like financial literacy, strategic thinking, being able to negotiate, networking, communication, problem solving, time management, leadership, sales persuasion, decision making, delegation. Those are skills that you can learn. But if you have the attributes, these skills are very, very easy to learn. And when I did this list, I had so many more on attributes, but I didn't have enough time to fit them all in. As you probably gather, I talk quite a lot and we've only got 20 minutes left. We haven't got through the presentation. So this is the things that you need to have. If you embody these attributes in any area of your life, I'm not talking about just property, any area of your life that you want to be successful, you will be assured success if you follow those and have a few bits of skill. Is this making sense? Good. So the last two bits is just saying it's skills and attributes. That's an attribute. The next one is a skill. Next slide, please. So what does everything start with? How do you create success for most people? So everything starts with one thing, vision. And let me explain what I mean about vision. Most people, they say, when I see it, I'll believe it. How many of you heard that? But when it comes to faith, you don't say that. You say, I believe it. I believe in God. Can you see God? No, you can't. You believe it so you can see it. Everything in this world right now, everything in your room, everything that you're sitting on, every single thing around you, your clothing, your jewelry, your glasses, was created in someone's mind first, in their vision. They saw it, they believed it, and they saw it. They created it. When you can create your vision of who you want to be, where you want to be, your brain is so powerful, it will lead the path for you to get there. Just the same way, if you ask your brain a question, it will always give you an answer. How many of you have spoken to somebody that you know really well and you just can't remember their bloody name? And then an hour later or the next day, their name just pops up into your head. That's because your brain is always searching for an answer. How many of you have bought a car and the next bloody day you see tens of those cars around the road that you never saw before? Were they always there? Of course they were. Your brain is designed to delete anything in your life that's not important to you and bring anything into your life that is important to you. So you have to create the vision in your mind first. The brain only thinks in two things: pictures and emotions. If I said to you now, don't think of a pink elephant, you're thinking of a pink elephant. Have any of you ever seen a pink elephant? Not one of you. But your brain will only create pictures and emotions. You'll be seeing a pink elephant. Your brain is the most powerful tool that you have, and you need to know how to use it to elevate you to be as successful as you want to. Success doesn't happen overnight. Most people want success overnight. Well, unfortunately, it doesn't happen that way. Next bit of the presentation, please. Next part is time. So we all want things yesterday. We live in the world of instant gratification. Internet, fast food, everything yesterday, tomorrow. Well, success doesn't happen that way. Success is a journey. It's having the vision and the time to know that you have to allow time. If I go and plant wheat in the field, I'm not going to get wheat tomorrow. I'm going to have to nurture that ground. I'm going to have to water it. I'm going to have to look after it. I might not get any crop in the first year, but I'll get it in the second year, and I'll start reaping the rewards for what I do today and what I do every day to make that happen. Most people want things to happen so quickly, they don't allow time to take effect. And time works for you. It can also work against you. We don't have more time. We all have the same amount of time, but you can create more time. You create more time by leverage. You create more time by having other people that work for you. So this presentation today was done by my VA. While I was doing something else, I created more time so I can do work that produces more income than my VA. So all of us have to create more time, but time is what we need, and time is what we need to accelerate, and we need to get more of. And how we buy back more time is by employing people to do things that we can't do better and faster. I hope this is making sense. Next bit of the presentation. Because I'm going to run out, I'm going to speak very quickly because I know we've got 15 minutes and we have questions that we need to ask. Consistency. Your daily consistent habits. You've got to be consistent on a daily basis. Things have to happen. You know, when anything changes in your life, and I like to give a lot of things to do with sport because people understand sport. If you go to the gym today, you're not going to get fit. You're not going to get fit tomorrow or the day after. But if you go to the gym for 12, 14, 16 weeks, you then start to see the compound effect. You seem to see your daily habits that you've created, the consistency habit, and that's when you start seeing the effect. When you have the vision, when you have the time, when you do the consistent daily habits, success with the attributes that we talked before and learning the skills along the way. Creating a property portfolio doesn't happen overnight. Buying a property, renovating it, selling it doesn't happen overnight. My developments can take between 18 and 36 months. I know that I have my vision of what I create, how much time it's going to take me. The consistent daily habits allow me to reap the rewards further down the line. Next bit, please. Delaying gratification. So what I love about religion, and I'm Jewish, I hold my hands up, is religion teaches you about delayed gratification. We do it in religion, but we don't seem to do it anywhere else. In religion, it makes us not do things, and that's a great way to understand delaying gratification. We have to delay gratification for purpose. When you delay your gratification, not to take all the money that you earn now and spend it like most people do, to take that money and to invest it. for a few years to do what most people won't, so you can have the life that most people can't. But most people don't spend the time to delay the gratification, and they always wonder why they're poor. They wonder why they never get where they need to be, because they don't allow for that delayed gratification, for time to build, for the compound effect to happen, for the consistency to happen, for the delayed gratification to create success. Sorry, I'm getting very passionate, but this is one of my passionate subjects. Next part of the slide, please. You have to have an expert team around you. So I think everyone on this panel, Deanne, Ade, myself, we use people to help us grow our business. I have tax specialists, I have great accountants, I have lawyers, I have contract lawyers, I have my own business consultant, I have other people that help me grow my business. When you speak to Richard Branson, what he always says, he picks the best possible team around him. He doesn't see it as a cost. He sees it as an investment. Look what he's created from Virgin Records, from a phone booth. Not by the work that he does, but by the time he's created and the leverage he's created by employing the expert team. When you see things as a cost rather than an investment, you won't grow. I'm at the age of 63. I've spent over $250,000 in the last 10 years on my own education and business consultancy, and I'll continue to do so because it's an investment in myself, an investment in me. You need to invest in yourself the same way you would invest in anything else. People go to an accountant or a lawyer for advice, but when it comes to financial help, for some reason, people shy away from it. And that's where you're going to get the real growth, is by having an expert team around you. Next bit, please. So I will hand over to Deanne and Ade now. I'm done. I hope you've learned something. If you did, just put a yes or no in there. Question is, are you going to use it? And we'll see. Thank you for listening. I hope you've enjoyed this evening, and I'll hand you back to Ade and to Deanne.
Brilliant.
Well,
Thank you so much. Yeah, I am going to hand over to Ade, but just before I do that, because you guys have heard from me a lot already at the beginning of this, just want to say thank you, Immanuel, because obviously you have imparted some really key points, some really good points there. But, you know, what really stuck out for me right now at the very end was invest in yourself. And a lot of people fail to do that. Because they don't see it, like you say, Immanuel, as an investment. They see it as a cost. And I think we're quick to kind of, invest or to spend on everything else but ourselves. And sometimes on our aesthetics. Someone had put aesthetics in there, but not on our minds, and how we can further ourselves, from investing in our minds, our education, our knowledge, networking, being around experienced people, and the list can go on. So yeah, there are a few key things that jumped out at me from that, but I'm going to hand over to Ade anyway, because I think you guys have heard from me enough for this evening. So Ade, yeah, take it away.
Well, I'd like to reiterate your thank you to Immanuel. That was absolutely wonderful, Immanuel. It's I think one of the things I immediately took from that is that whilst I have certain number of attributes, I can develop those attributes quite easily into a skill. And when I develop it into a skill, I'm on the path of wealth. And actually, I've actually seen in my life where I've taken attributes. You sit down with some people sometimes and they'll make comments about you. One of the things I've heard people say is, "Oh, you're so charismatic." Oh, am I? And I'm thinking, okay, but I've seen myself walk into a room with that knowledge and be surrounded by people, and I become the Pied Piper, and everybody's listening. And before you know it, you've got an audience and they're listening to you. And I'm like, when did that happen? So sometimes when you have an attribute that you develop into a skill, you don't even realize it. You just see successful outcomes. But now when you've described it tonight, I'm saying, oh, okay, so that's what I've done. And also it tells me there's some areas I need to improve on in terms of things like networking. It's one thing I've taken away. I'm the guy that go into a room and, I'm happy to listen to everybody else because sometimes I want to listen more than I want to talk. But sometimes I should be talking. And what you've done tonight for me is made me actually look in the mirror and say, Ad, you're fooling yourself. You think you're a good networker, you're not. You don't do it. So what I'd ask and I'd beg people to do is be honest with yourself, know what your attributes are, know what your skills are, know that if you've got the attribute, know if you need to develop it into a skill. And that means you've got to put time into yourself. And as Deanne and Immanuel rightly said, that means an investment in you. And don't look at it as a cost. It's an investment to take it from a simple attribute into a developed skill. So I know we are short of time. I just want to know, because it is interactive and I don't want to take up the time talking. For the next 5 minutes or so, is there anybody who'd like to ask something to Immanuel or ask a question of him? And hopefully he can give a short answer and we can get a few questions in. So either unmute and put your hand up or throw it in the chat box, but we've only got 5 minutes. So don't dilly-dally. Remember, time is of essence. Don't delay.
Well, I'm going to kick off with the first question whilst others might be coming in. And I've heard this before, Immanuel. A lot of people say, oh, you're a natural leader, or you're okay because you're a leader. I'm not a leader when, you know, and I'm not as confident. I'm not as whatever. Some people feel they're leaders. Some people feel they're followers. So if somebody shows up and thinks they're not a leader, what can they do to develop themselves into that, Immanuel? What would you say is the main thing that they
Okay, I'm
need?
going to share something with you guys. You might not believe it, but I'm very, very shy. Very shy. So how I get around my shyness is my knowledge. And I use my knowledge to break down barriers. And the way that I do that is I always ask somebody a question. If I ask somebody a question and I can ask them a question about something they need help with, I can help and respond. So that allows me to break a barrier. And I often do that by finding something I can genuinely compliment somebody about. So whether it be travel, their clothing, how they talk, their communication, because when you compliment somebody, the way that you compliment somebody is not by saying, you look nice, I like your clothes, because that's flattery, and flattery will get you nowhere. But if I was to say something like, Deanne, I really like your white shirt, and I'll tell you why I like it. I like a lot of fashion, and the way that that design is and the way it's actually cut, I like a lot. That's giving a reason behind a compliment. So if you give a reason behind a compliment, it's not seen as flattery, but that's the easiest way to get rapport, is to compliment somebody. So I can't teach you all the skills about how you become a good communicator, because I said I've spent over 250,000 learning all of these skills. I've been taught by some of the greatest teachers in the world, like Tony Robbins, T. Harv Eker, Robert Kiyosaki, Keith Cunningham, just to name a few. And I've learned from all of those, and I've paid attention, because when you don't pay attention. So spending 250,000 means I spent a lot of attention listening to what they were actually teaching me. So there are a couple of things that I'd like you guys to do this evening, if possible. If you think you've learned something from either me, Ade, or Deanne, what I'd like you to do is take a screenshot of this webinar and tag Deanne and Ade on your social media post, because they can't help people that don't know about them. And if you think you're getting some valuable information, I would say this evening has been complimentary. I wouldn't say it's free, being complimentary. If you think you've had some value, if you could tag them, and you can also tag me. I don't mind if you tag me as well, and either LinkedIn or any of your social medias, because that's how we grow and that's how we help people at the same time. So that's part of growth, that part of mindset, and asking. If you don't, the Lord says, if you don't ask, you won't receive. So we're asking, and hopefully we'll receive something back that we've actually given you guys at the same time. And yes, I come from a very religious background. So I use the Bible, Old Testament, as well as the New Testament, because there's a lot to learn from religion.
Immanuel, one of the questions I've been asked over the years is, how do you get up every day? You know, you can have good days, you have bad days. Anybody who thinks running a business or becoming wealthy is a walk in the park is fooling themselves. you'll have your good days and your bad days. How do you keep going and motivating yourself to get up every day, even though last 3 days have been bad? You've got to get up on that fourth day, and you're meant to be ready to go fight the world, all is great, inspired to go out and do it. How do you get up and keep going day to day and not just one day pull the quilt over your head and say, you know what, I'm just staying in bed today?
That's a good question. I can only answer from my perspective.
Yeah, okay.
And I'll answer it in a couple of ways. How many people tomorrow morning will not have the gift of waking up? That's the first thing I'd say. If you have the gift of being able to wake up in the morning, then you need to give gratitude to your creator that gives you the ability to be able to wake up and do things that probably millions of people won't be able to do tomorrow morning. Secondly, if your purpose is bigger than you, because life isn't about money. Money's just a byproduct of the things that you do. If your focus is in money, you won't get it. If your focus is on serving, contributing, to be able to leave a legacy. So for me, my focus is my children. What legacy am I going to leave behind? You know, I said I've written a couple of books. I do stuff. I want people to remember and to have the ability to change their lives, because you don't have to be poor. Our system is designed to keep you poor. It doesn't mean you have to stay there. You don't have to be conditioned by our society. It doesn't matter what color, race, or religion you are. There's no excuse anymore for not being able to get up and become better. Just because our society teaches us that doesn't mean you have to be there. Sorry, it's one of my hot topics.
That's
Yeah.
okay.
I was
I would like to actually say sorry,
Can I
Ade.
just finish on that question there? I think I had an answer, but I wanted to hear your answer, and I just want to share my answer, what enables me. I totally agree with the family motivation. That, without a shadow of a doubt, is one of the things that gets me up to every day. But I think the one I heard a few years back, that anytime I'm feeling a bit, not quite having a good day, and I think, oh dear, this saying comes to my head. I used to complain about the shoes on my feet until I met the man with no feet. That inspires me every day. So just wanted to share. Over to you, Dee.
Yeah, I was just going to share how I feel. So, I mean, and this is again from experience, but I think the reality is, for all of us, we are human, and there are going to be days where we don't feel motivated. And that is the reality. There are going to be those days where you think, oh God, I just don't want to pull the covers off my head. I don't want to get up today. And I actually personally believe that it's okay to have those days occasionally, because it's normal. You don't get up every day naturally feeling like, oh, the world's my oyster and I just feel fantastic every single day. However, it's how long you stay there. That is the thing. Yes, you can have a day where you feel a little bit down, a little bit unmotivated, a little bit, whatever, out of sorts, poor me, pity party, whatever you want to call it. But it's how long you stay there. That is the key. You have to know to get back up and keep going. And that leads me on to something else, because I have made investments in property where I've lost a lot. I mean, toe curling amounts, and on more than one occasion. And I'm talking six-figure sums, guys. So you're not talking anything less than 100. And it's happened to me several times. So yes, there are mistakes that can be made. Yes, there are risks. But the key and the most important thing for me is that you do not fail until you quit. And that's the thing. Now, if I had lost 120K and I had quit at that stage, that would have been of a negative detriment to me at that stage. And I probably would not have recovered from it had I not have gone on, and that might have been my lasting legacy. I lost 120K, it ruined me, and I never did anything again. However, when you lose and you look at that experience and you take the nugget from it, because in everything, they say in every cloud there's a silver lining, in every good there is bad, there's always opposites in every situation. So even no matter how dire that situation is, there is something in there that you can learn from, take from it, or whatever. And when you take that and keep going, you don't quit, Eventually, you move from that point into another horizon, into another place. Now, when I look back at those several times where I've lost out or lost that cash, does it affect me anymore? No, it doesn't. Why? Because I didn't quit at that stage. I kept going and I've gone on to make more and more than what I've lost. So do not quit. You
Can I just
only
answer that? Can I answer
when
that in a slightly different way?
Can I
Mhm.
just say before you do, you have 30
Yeah.
seconds to do that.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll cover it very quickly. Most successful people have all had some business that hasn't succeeded. And if you look at a result like a football match as a result, not as a loss, you can always change the result the next game. So never, I like to use positive words. Don't say loss or failure, result. It wasn't a result you expected. How can we change the result next time? And that's how you get your mind focused on the result and the outcome, not on the loss.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like
Excellent.
that. Both Deanne and Emmanuel, those two last points, I think they're really good. Yeah, a result, being a football man and supporting the best team in the land, Arsenal. Yes, okay, no comments. You know, it's what you do. And as Deanne rightly said, a bad day, there's nothing wrong with having the bad day, but it's how long you dwelling it for. So I hope it's been very informative tonight. Listen, I'm not a billionaire. I'm not maybe a multi-millionaire, but I'm not a pauper. And I can see where some of the stuff that has been shared by Emmanuel tonight and myself and Deanne is going to be very useful going forward for all of you. Please go away, read, listen to the recording, go over it a couple of times, because sometimes you need to hear it a few times for it to sink in. I know a lot of it's been sunk in tonight because you engaged and you participated. So as Manuel said, best place to gain all your learning. And all I would say is, if you need help in anything, if you want to progress this conversation, come and see us. Remember, we do, I won't say free consultations, I'm going to say complimentary consultations, 30 minutes. If you want to come and chat to us, come and do it. Let's see if we can just guide you, get you on that journey and make the most of this. What would I call it? Your journey of wealth, your legacy creation. So
Your
don't be a
journey of
stranger.
success. Your journey
Don't
of
be a
success.
stranger. It's been great seeing you tonight. And on behalf of Emmanuel, myself, and Deanne, and I'm going to let Deanne say her last words because she always does, and she says it very succinctly. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for giving us your time. Thank you for investing in yourself, because you've given up your time. So that's an investment, even though you haven't had to pay. It's an investment. So well done. I applaud you. We look forward to seeing you next month on our GP clinic, as well as if you need to come and speak to us at any time, we're here for you. Myself, Deanne, and Emmanuel, come and see us. We'll help you in whatever direction we need to take you in. So on a last note, over to my fellow co-founder, Deanne, I'll leave you to close.
Thank you very much. And I think in the words of someone who has been very successful, I always like to have positive quotes, but here's one for me, and which is very apt for today. Find out, if we're talking about property, this is specific to property, find out where the people are going and buy the land before they get there. Okay? So until we see you again, thank you for coming. Please do not count the days, but make your days count. All right? Take care. See you.